Welcome back to Politics Tonight, and tonight we're discussing the coup in Niger as ECOWAS reversal deadline ends with a senior lecturer at the Department of History and International Relations, Lagos State University, Dapo Thomas. All right, Doctor, let's continue with our conversation. Since 2020, the whole of Sahel region has been hit by coup, talking about countries like Burkina Faso and Mali. But it appears like Niger is the only country which ECOWAS has talked about potential military intervention. My question is, what makes Niger's case more complicated than others?
I think it was a hype. And the president, that's Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just maybe few days before the coup, just alluded to it that coup will not be tolerated in West Africa, even in Africa. So when this one now happened, so there was that expectation by people in West Africa, as to what the president is going to do as the chairman of ECOWAS. So what is he going to do? So I don't know why, because decision making is very, very tough. And it's not something, I'm so sure that he was not the only one who decided that they should issue ultimatum.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know the involvement of our diplomats or our experts in terms of input to the decision, because foreign policy, the foreign affairs department ought to be involved to guide them. That's to approach decision making democratically. You understand? You must get these people involved. So what did they say? Were they part of the process? You understand? Because it's so shameful, so shameful. So what popularized this, what made this, what hyped this, was the fact that our president just issued that. But irrespective, it should have been treated as just a wish, not as an order. You understand? That would have been seen as his own wish. That, well, even if you use the word, it will not be tolerated. It does not mean it can still be a wish. You understand? It can still be something that he wishes. It will not happen. And then when it's now happened, the immediate action should not be issuing of ultimatum. No. Immediate action should now be a kind of sober reflection. Oh, I just spoke 3 days ago, so why is this happening now? You understand? And then you sit down, analyze all these issues, and then you take your decision. It's very unfortunate that we have taken a decision that is not popular. Not popular, it does not mean that it will stop the ECOWAS from going ahead. No. Deployment of military, deployment of whatever, they are ready. But is it okay in view of what we have in view of the things that we have outlined? Is it going to be, are we going to win the war? At the end of the day, are we going to even succeed in putting Bazoum? What if we go there and as a result of our intervention, they now kill the guy? So, a necessary futility. So do you now want to install another person? You are still going to ask them to go into democracy. You understand? Even if you take over, definitely some members of the country, some of the people would have to constitute a panel or a transition committee that will oversee this program. So why not do it now? Why not ask for that now? I'm telling you, it may be something that even the coup plotters would jump at. If you challenge him morally, that okay, if you are popular, what we are saying now, okay, there is no need to fight again. Let's set up a transition committee. You can even supervise it. You understand? You can supervise it from your own party or join a particular party. And then you go into election with Bazoum. Let him also go into another round. So test your popularity. And then we can see. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Yes, I don't know why there is this domino of coups. And it's unfortunate, But I want to believe that most of these West African or African leaders, those who are planning coups, are definitely not interested in the welfare of their people. They are not even interested in the development of their nations. Because where do you want to operate? Where? At ECOWAS, you are not going to be represented. African Union, you are not going to be represented. All these advanced nations, all these EU, US, and everything, they are not going to reckon with you. Nobody wants to see a man in uniform. No, it's obsolete. It's not something that we want to revive. So, but they are just interested in holding on to power. They don't even know what to do with the power. They don't even have an idea of the environment. I mean, of the international atmosphere, international environment. They don't even know how it operates. Because if you know how it operates, why should you create a pariah status for yourself and for your country? What do you want to gain? So you are only interested in what comes to you, what benefits you as the president. You understand? Maybe you want to amass wealth, maybe you want to, but for what? If it is for the people. Now Russia that is even engineering the whole thing, how sure, even when Russia was Russia, when there is no war, that it is committing its own resources into? How much aid have you collected from Russia? So now that Russia is even involved in war, whether you like it or not, the way the war is going now, there will be some kind of reconstruction that Russia itself will do. And then there is no way this war will not have affected, the sanctions will not have affected its economy. And then, so they will be thinking of how to revive, how to also recover. So how much do you want to get from Russia? And then Burkina Faso and Mali that are even giving you support, do they even have the funds to give you? So what do you want to operate? How do you want to operate effectively if you are interested in infrastructure, if you are interested in the development of your people? Why are you doing this? Number 8, poorest nation in Africa. After Western Sahara, after Burundi, after Madagascar, Mozambique and Coup. And then what do you want to do? It's a very poor nation. Where will you get the fund? You are even fighting your neighbor, your powerful neighbor, your rich neighbor, Nigeria. You understand? If anything, if their economy has not collapsed, it is as a result of what Nigeria has been subsidizing. You know, some of these nations we subsidize, we give them a subvention. We give them subvention. And then you have lost what you are getting from United States. You have lost what you are getting. Well, let us even remove France. But you have lost what you are getting from US. You are losing what you are getting from Nigeria. So how do you want to survive? You can't. So I just believe that Nigeria should just leave them. Let them even carry on. Let's see how far they can go. Yes, I understand that some of them have spent 3 years or 2 years. For what? Doing what? Doing what? Nothing. They cannot move ahead. They can't even develop anywhere.
So now that the Coupists have closed the airspace in Niger, with this, what's the possibility of a military intervention or the sanctions imposed?
It's for security reasons, not commercial. It's for security purpose, because if they have not closed the airspace, then definitely we can fly above their airspace, and then we start bombing them. And then they may not even be able to distinguish which one is a friendly plane or which one is even a commercial plane. I mean, as advanced as Russia is, whether deliberately or not, Igor, failed, or Russia generally, let's say, failed to even detect that a Malaysian plane was coming, and then they killed 270-something people. So if the airspace had not been blocked, then it's possible that they will just be, throwing missiles or whatever at any plane that is flying above their airspace. So now to know whether you are an enemy plane or a commercial plane or whatever, we are locking this up first. So we'll now see what will happen later. So they are taking time to study the environment and the situation before they can now open. The first thing you do is to lock your borders when you take Coup like that, where you have an enemy, where you have a neighbor as your enemy. So you lock your border with that country, and then you close your airspace to ensure that those that will be flying, you are the person that will clear them. They need screening and clearance before they can fly your airspace. It's not a normal situation, but this one has called for it, so that's what you should have done. Or that's why they are locking up their airspace.
All right. So the junta has severed diplomatic relations rather. With the junta has severed diplomatic relations with France and Nigeria. What's the implication of this?
Nothing. As far as they are concerned, they are not gaining anything from France. They are gaining from Nigeria, the electricity.
So what's the implication of this?
There is no implication if the people are supporting. I mean, except you are saying that those who are there, 96% of them are illiterate. So that's where they will not know what generosity, how magnanimous Nigeria has been to them. So if they are now jubilating and even calling our president all sorts of names, and that shows that they are ready for the consequences.
But can we really say Niger is not gaining anything from France? Because France has about 1,500 troops in that country.
So at what price? I mean, if France is paying the bill, it's different. But when you exploit uranium, mine coal, and then you take it, and you're making, hypothetically, let's say $2,000, and then the country that owns the resources, you are giving $200. So what kind of development are you doing? What kind of, I mean, why would they regret you leaving their country? They're happy. They have even stated declared that they don't want France in their country. Because if you have been lording over them, if you have been their colonizer, and for years, 60 years, going to 60 or maybe 50-something years now, 60 years plus, and then the people as at now are saying to hell with you, are saying no, you should leave, destroying your embassy. That shows that you are not popular. That shows that you have been exploiting them. That shows that they see your presence in their country as an anathema, as a kind of, as an epitome of retrogression, something that sets them back, that you are the cause, major cause of their backwardness. So that's what that's the implication. The implication is that they see you as the enemy of progress, that you are not even developing the place for them, their country. You are taking the money, you are just working on the pact that they signed with you, and you are saying you even want to go to court. To do what? You know, what's the purpose? What's the legal backing for such pact? So I don't think it has any financial implication. Mm-hmm. They don't feel that they are getting. It's only Nigeria they feel okay, because we have been very generous. We don't even mine their coal. We don't even mine their uranium. We don't exploit them. We are more generous to them. We have been spending 400 million to do this, 2 billion to do that for them. Yes, it's going to encourage, it's going to stimulate trade transactions between the two. And that's what I feel, that as neighbors, we are not supposed to fight. It's unfortunate that our president finds himself in the saddle now, at this particular time. But this is not the right time for us to fight Niger.
All right, Doctor, but if the Coupists are saying they seized power because of the deteriorating security in the country, is this substantive enough?
Of course. Even when we had coups, when we have serial coup plotters in Nigeria, when we come and say, and we're talking about our clinics have turned into shambles, we are not even talking about general hospitals. We are not even talking about teaching hospitals. So anybody can use anything. They will just say clinics. I mean, we have turned our hospitals into clinics. We have turned our social. So they have one or two reasons which they feel as official. You can't just come and then you are displacing the president, the sitting president, and then you will not give any excuse. So whatever excuse, whatever reason or reasons they are giving, as far as they are concerned, are enough to even take over power. They must tell the public something. They must tell the international community something. So whatever they have told us, whatever they have said, that deteriorating situation in the country and everything, I mean, that shows that they are telling the truth, because the people have shown through their demonstrations that, oh, these people are telling the truth. Because apart from Muritala's coup, I can't see, and then Muritala's coup and possibly Buhari's coup of 1984, 83, 84, you know, that we jubilated. It was for the first one, the Muritala something, it was because people were tired of Gowon's regime, 9 years, even though we didn't even have anything against him. You understand? People loved him, but just because he was staying too long in power, and then he kept on moving the transition programs. It kept on moving, and that's not good. Don't take the people for a ride. Yes, don't take the affection or the love the people have for you for I mean, don't take it for granted. So that was what go on. Then the second popular coup was that of Buhari, 1983, and it was because everybody was tired of the politicians, particularly the LPN regime. So people were tired, and so anything was ready, anything would do at that particular point in time. All the other coups, Babangida's coup, Abacha's coup, all of them, rubbish, unnecessary. So military plan coup anyhow. Plan coup.
So this situation seems to have now polarized the world into two. I mean, we have those for intervention and we have those against. Why this?
No. I don't think coup is popular because we have 6 in Africa. No, we have about maybe 50-something African countries. Then when you look at the international community, I think it's only Myanmar that you have a military. In Asia, I don't know of any military apart from Myanmar. In Europe, none. In South America, I don't think so. So it's not popular. It's still there. We have isolated cases of coup plotters. That's what you should say. It's not that it's popular, but it's better we nip it in the bud. That's what the president is saying. Just to nip it in the bud. But in order to nip it in the bud, we must be very careful how we tread.
All right, Doctor. So having said a lot this evening, what is the best option for ECOWAS at this time? The
best option is to reassess the events of the past few weeks in view of what did the delegation team, what did they tell, what was the feedback, what happened. So they will have to appraise that. They will appraise the feelings of the people, Nigerians generally, and then possibly some other countries. They will also take into consideration the decision of the Senate, because it's sacrosanct, it's very important. You understand? So these are things that they will ponder over, reflect, and then see the way forward. But like I said, the way forward is for a peaceful transition to take place. So how ECOWAS is going to get involved in the transition process is what they should look for. Yes, you have blown hot and cold. I mean, you have blown hot to the coup plotters. Now you can blow cold. Is that what they call diplomacy? It's not in every situation that you use force. Force does not, it's not every situation that force also solves problems. So there is no shame. What kind of shame? There is no shame when you are looking for peace. So negotiate with them on transition. So talk to them. You understand? And that will even be better because in Mali, in Burkina Faso, we are having maybe 2 years, 3 years. But they may not. You may say, okay, let's discuss it. So you may throw it to them that you are giving them 6 months, or you believe that in 6 months they can transit. I mean, they can go into transition program. And they will say, no, we don't, 6 months is not, okay, 1 year. But let us even talk reasonably to them first. Let's see what that will come out. I mean, what will come out of that. You understand? They may like the idea because now they have seen that the people love them. You understand?
All right.
They have seen that the people love them.
All right. So precisely for President Tinubu, who is the chairman of ECOWAS Authority of Heads of States and Governments, what would you advise him to do?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. There is nothing wrong, as far as I'm concerned, there is nothing wrong in calling the coup plotter, I mean the leader. He will even be very happy. He will be excited to even talk to the president. So if he now snubs the president, yes, that is part of what we are going to appraise. And then the world will see that, well, they have taken the initiative to even talk to them peacefully or to even talk about peace, but they failed to take that opportunity. So these are the things that we are going to pile up against them. What they told the delegation team, how they snubbed the delegation team, how they snubbed our president if he calls them, how they snubbed him, how they did this, how they did that. You understand? So these are the things that you will now have against them. Then you can now hold another meeting, and then all the other heads of state will now make input. And then you call your experts to also give you a position.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Duckworth Thomas, Senior Lecturer in the Department of History and International Relations, Lagos State University. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you very much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and it's Olajumoke OO using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatunji. Goodbye.